guys, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. Thanks for joining me. This week I'm going to be rust proofing my truck. If you've been following the build so far, you'll know that I'm converting my 1999 Mercedes Vario truck into an expedition type camper. A step that's often overlooked when you're doing a camper conversion is rust proofing. So that's why I wanted to make this dedicated video about it. And for rust proofing my truck, I'm going to be using Lanoguard. Now I'm going to be showing you how to apply the Lanoguard a little bit later on in this video, but first of all I've got to do a little bit of preparation on my chassis because it's a little bit rusty on the top. This will cover surface rust, however if you've got flaky rust you want to remove that first. If you remember from last week's video, I removed these wooden battens off the top of my chassis, which was sandwiched between the chassis and the flatbed subframe. And with the wooden battens removed, it revealed a very nasty surprise. Flaky rust, my favourite. As we know, wood is absorbent and that moisture sat against the steels which has rotted it out, and unfortunately you couldn't see this happening because it was hidden under the subframe. Here I've got a few tools we can use for removing the rust. So starting off here, we've got the wire wheels for the grinder. These are great at removing rust, but you've just got to be a bit careful because these little wires come flinging out sometimes, so make sure you wear safety glasses, gloves and maybe long sleeves. And these are wire wheel attachments for the drill. Again, they're really good for more intricate areas, not quite as powerful as the wire wheels in a grinder, but they still do a good job. And then finally, we've got the wire brushes, the handheld wire brush, and then a smaller one here for getting to the little intricate areas. Dust mask! There we go, thank God for that. So using my wire wheel and a grinder, I just gradually work my way down the chassis, removing as much of this rust as possible. Taking it back to bare metal in places, but that's absolutely fine because I'm going to be overpainting this once I've applied my rust converter. And then I use my little handheld wire brush to get in the more intricate places that I can't reach with the grinder, like underneath the cab there. Before applying rust converter, you need to thoroughly clean and degrease the surface you're applying it to, and for that I use isopropyl alcohol, which is essentially a rubbing alcohol, and it evaporates really fast and removes any of that dirt and grease. I've tried out lots of different rust converters over the years, and today I'm going to be trying out Bill Amber's Hydrate 80. Now the reviews for this product speak for themselves really. It's supposed to be one of the best on the market, so let's try it out and see if it's any good. I apply this to the top of the chassis rails where I removed the rust, and if I've left any behind then it's going to convert it into a black paintable substance. It chemically changes the composition of the rust so that it doesn't get any worse, it encapsulates it, and then we can paint straight over the top of it. Let's have a look at this area here. I first of all remove as much of that rust as possible using my wire brush. I then degrease the surface using the isopropyl alcohol and then paint it with the Hydrate 80 rust converter. 10 to 15 minutes later, the rust converter's worked its magic and we've got this nice stable surface ready for paint. Before applying paint or Lanoguard, we need to make sure that the chassis is thoroughly clean. So I use a jet wash for this to just blast off any of that dirt. Did I mention that patience wasn't my strongest point? Well, as you can see, it's gone a little bit milky on top of the chassis where I didn't give the rust converter quite long enough to cure, so I'd recommend leaving it for maybe a few hours before jet washing. Once the chassis is thoroughly dry, I go back and pick off any last little bits of rust I can see, and I also put another coat of rust converter over the top of the chassis rails where it went a little bit milky, just in case that I compromise the quality of that rust conversion. We've removed the rust, cleaned the chassis and painted any rusty bits with our rust converter. So now it's time to touch up those areas with some chassis paint. I got this paint from Amazon, I'll put a link to it in the description below. I've already used it on my rear differential, in the wheel wells, and I'm now using it on the chassis. I really like this paint. You can buy it in big tins. It's only a single pack paint, so you don't have to mix it with any hardeners. It's really quick and easy to apply, dries quickly, and it gives it a really nice factory satin black finish. I still had a little bit of stone chip left from when I did the wheel wells, so I just applied that to the edges of the chassis rails to tidy them up a little bit. I'm really pleased with how this is looking. However, I think the exhaust system's letting it down a little bit with those rusty brackets in there. So let's take it off and give it a good clean up. I would love to put a stainless steel exhaust system on this eventually, but the budget doesn't stretch that far at the moment. So let's see what we can do with a bit of elbow grease and a couple of tins of spray paint. I am absolutely exhausted after that. Right, here I have the exhaust pipe off of the truck, and I've removed this because I want to give it a new lease of life. You can see we've got a bit of rust underneath the brackets here, so I just want to clean this up and give it a lick of paint. And I obviously couldn't resist starting the engine without the muffler on, and it sounds bloody awesome. I would love to keep it like that and just put a straight pipe on it or a stack. However, then I put my sensible head on and thought, well, you know, if I'm going to be taking this on campsites in the middle of the night, I don't really want to wake everybody up. So I'm actually going to leave the stock exhaust on it. I know, boring. Although I did have a thought, maybe I could put some kind of valve before the muffler so I could open up the exhaust pipe, basically put a hole in the exhaust before the muffler through a electric or air operated valve, so I could open it and then you'd get the cool sound before the muffler. And then obviously when I'm on campsites, I just close that little flap so that it's quiet on the campsites. So what actually is this Lanoguard product here in front of me? It's derived from lanolin, which is from sheep's wool, so it's an organic, non-toxic product. In the past, I've used Waxoyl. Now, if you've ever used this stuff, you'll know just how messy it is to apply. It gets absolutely everywhere. And I've made a couple of videos about using this stuff, both of which I get absolutely covered in it, and I've ruined one of my favourite white hoodies as well. Not to mention the fact that it is pretty flammable too, as I found out. Put this outside. I've gone for the large kit, which is recommended for vehicles Land Rover Defender sort of size. Obviously my truck's a little bit bigger than a Land Rover Defender, so hopefully we've got enough here, but a little bit goes a long way. I've got 4 litres of the Moto spray, the sprayer, a couple of paint brushes, the magic wand for getting inside the seals, a dust sheet. We've got this sticker to record when the vehicle was last treated, which is good for keeping track of it. And here I have a pot of the Moto grease, which is essentially a higher concentrated version of the Moto spray. This is more of an oily substance, whereas this is a grease, so we can paint that on using a brush to areas that are more susceptible to rust, for example, along welds, seams, on top of the strut mounts, any edges that are a little bit vulnerable, nuts and bolts, anywhere also you don't want to seize up, for example, on pins. This is great for that. Let's see what it actually smells like. Weird. Smells like sheep. I start with the moto grease and paint that over any areas that I think may be more susceptible to rust. So in these wheel wells, we've got the suspension components here. And if you remember from the last video, I painted all this with rust converter because it had already started going a little bit rusty. So based on that, we know where is more susceptible to rust, anywhere where it had already started rusting. And that was mainly along the edges and any flat surfaces where water had been sitting. I was in two minds as to whether I should paint up the universal joints on the prop shaft with this grease, but I thought, you know what, it's added protection and also it may even lubricate in the UJs a little bit. These welds will be covered up by the box eventually, so now's a perfect opportunity to protect them. And these ones. A little while ago I replaced this air tank because the bottom had completely rusted out around these welds, so I know where the weak point is. Let's put some moto grease around those welds to prevent it happening again. The grease is ideal for brake compensators. This spring here is very rusty already, but by painting it with the moto grease, not only is it offering the rust protection, it'll also stop it from seizing up. As you can see, when you apply the moto grease, it's a creamy sort of colour, but that will cure transparent. So make sure you do all the preparation beforehand. If you want it to show through black, you're going to have to paint it black first. So let's shake this one up, put that in there, and then we get our sprayer, screw that on there. It comes with the nozzle closed, so you just need to open that first. It's got a little arrow on it, so open that. And then you can see the Lanoguard is coming through. And then it's simply a case of spraying everywhere that you want to protect. Everywhere other than the brakes, of course. I've actually covered those up with some plastic bin bags, just so that I don't get the overspray on the discs. And if applying the moto spray wasn't easy enough already, you could always just get a little helper to do it for you. It's even easier. Don't get it on your clothes because you smell like a sheep.
You smell like a sheep.
I know I do.
It just smells weird. There's lots of rust down here.
Yeah, well that'll stop it getting worse. Well done. Let's run through a few of the commonly asked questions about Lanoguard. First one being, how long does it last? It's designed for a yearly application, so you want to top this up once a year to make sure that your vehicle stays protected. The problem with it is UV breaks it down, so anywhere that's exposed to sunlight won't last as long as the areas that are protected or in the shade. For example, inside seals, that will last much longer. But it's still worth doing yearly just to make sure your vehicle stays in tip-top condition. Next question, can Lanoguard be applied to rust? Yes, of course it can. You just want to remove any flaky bits, but surface rust is absolutely fine. It bonds to the metal underneath the rust and acts as a barrier by hermetically sealing the surface from oxygen and water, stopping the rust from getting any worse. It doesn't actually kill the rust, it just prevents it from getting worse. And over time it will seep underneath the surface layer of rust and push some of that oxidation off. This is a 360-degree injection wand for the inner seals and box section, so we can get this attachment and spray inside the seals to keep it protected from the inside out. And the good thing about this injection wand is it's got that 360-degree spray pattern from the nozzle, so it coats all the surfaces inside the box section and seals. I'm covered head to toe in Lanoguard. I wouldn't recommend applying this when it's windy outside. If you've got somewhere indoors you can work on your vehicle, then definitely do that. I don't think I'd look too out of place in Madame Tussauds. I look like a wax figure with all this on me. But I think lanolin's supposed to be good for your skin, so you never know, tomorrow I might look 10 years younger. I've used 1 3/4, so what's that, 3.5 litres for that big truck. But I've absolutely covered everything all by the body panels. I want to put a little bit inside the engine bay as well once I've finished the bodywork around there. So I've saved a little bit for that. But overall it covers really well. The spray gun atomizes it really nicely so you get a fine mist. Not great when it's windy, but a little bit does go a long way. And unfortunately I did overspray on my brakes. So if you do that by accident, make sure you use some brake cleaner and a clean rag just to remove any of the Lanoguard from your discs, because obviously your brakes won't work. They do lots of different size kits, whether you need to protect your motorbike, car, truck, tractor, whatever it is. I'll put a link in the description below to where you can pick some of this up, and also a discount code where you can get £5 off. I'm now going to do a little experiment so we can compare Lanoguard and Waxoyl over time using this test piece. So I'm just cleaning up a piece of metal here, and I'm going to coat a third of it in Lanoguard, a third of it in Waxoyl, and I'm going to leave a third of it bare metal. I take the test piece and screw it to the fence outside where it's exposed to the elements, and I'll keep you updated as to how this performs over time. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you click the alarm bell, you'll get notifications when I post new videos. And if you could give this one a thumbs up while you're at it, I'd really appreciate that. Cheers guys. I'm really pleased with how this chassis is looking. This is a day after applying the Lanoguard and it still looks very wet. It's best not to drive the vehicle for 24 hours after applying the Lanoguard, just to give it time to cure a little bit. It actually takes 7 to 10 days to fully cure, and it will dry to a clear semi-satin finish, almost like candle wax. Right, let's get back to cleaning up that rusty old exhaust system. I use the same method for removing and treating this rust as I did on the chassis and in the wheel wells. I'm using a high temperature aluminium spray paint with good corrosion inhibitive properties, so it's ideal for this exhaust system. I'll put links in the description to everything you'll need for this job if you plan on doing it yourself. I'm really pleased with how this exhaust system's looking after a good clean up and a lick of paint. I will be protecting it with Lanoguard because, believe it or not, you can spray Lanoguard on the exhaust as well because it's heat resistant up to 450 degrees. But before I do that, there's another little job I want to do, and I'm going to save that for another video. I think you're going to like that one. At the end of the last video, I got the truck weighed to give us a starting weight, just the chassis and cab without the flatbed or any body on it. I asked you guys to guess in the comments how much you thought it weighed. Now I've got the results in. It weighs 2.48 tons, that's with me in it, so the truck probably weighs half a ton, which gives us just over 3.5 tons for the build. Thank you for watching as always, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye for now.